Hi everyone, James Pura here, one of the product marketing managers for MSC Software. We're back today with another MSC Apex highlight reel, and here we'll be showing you the latest updates in MSC Apex 2021.1, which came out on April 5th. In this release, we came out with some pretty cool new technology, and I'm here to show you the highlights. Just as a reminder though, this is by no means an exhaustive list of all the new tech, so if that's what you're looking for, we recommend that you watch our full What's New presentation, which is a bit longer of a video, but it goes into much more detail, and you can find that both on our website and on our YouTube page. This one is just hitting the highlights. So, having said that, let's get right into it. The first item I'm going to show you today is the new capability we have in Apex where we can map variable pressure or temperature field onto an existing finite element model. First, let's take temperature. Here you can see a simple electronics module, and we're going to map temperature loads from an Excel CSV file onto it and then run it. Just a quick note here though, the temperature and pressure mapping tool is delivered as an Apex utility, which you can see here. So make sure you've got the utilities loaded before starting this workflow. Here, we're going to browse to our CSV file, which if I open up here, you can see that it's got 4 columns, X, Y, Z, and temperature. Next, we're going to choose the select target and choose the FEA model that we previously imported. Then, to finish it off, we can hit Create Load, and that'll complete the operation. As you can see now, we've got a variable temperature load applied to our model. Now, let's do the same thing but with a variable pressure load. Let's say, just for kicks, you're working on a new aircraft design and either you or someone on your team just completed a CFD analysis on your new aircraft model. The next step that you would probably want to take is to take that output from the CFD analysis and map it onto your FEA model in order to do a structural analysis, thus being able to certify your new aircraft design. So that's the workflow that we'll do here. The CFD analysis in this case was done using Cradle SC Flow, and here is the exported CSV file. You can see here we've got X, Y, Z, and pressure. Nothing too special, so it should work with other CFD codes also, like Fluent or Star CCM+. Here you can see we've got our aircraft CAD model, and we've also got our CSV file export. Now we'll import this into Apex just like we did before, and apply that variable pressure load onto the aircraft. Let's preview it before we create the load just to make sure, and yes, it looks good. So now let's create the load, and just like that, we're ready to move forward with the full structural analysis. For the next highlight, we're going to focus on frequency response dynamics. A couple years ago, we introduced all of you to our new frequency response dynamics capabilities, which for the first time ever allowed users to do design trade-off studies without ever leaving the user interface. Here, you can see a section of the What's New video we published back in 2016 when we introduced the world to Apex Fossa. The demo that we showed back then walked the user through how to look at the dynamic signature, find an anomaly that we needed to fix, do a what-if study, and then once we figured out what to change, we could go back to Apex pre-processing and add a stiffener to reduce that resonant frequency, and then rerun finally to verify our new design. Now let's take that one step further. In this same scenario, let's assume that we're finalizing our design and we need to certify our new aircraft by using MSC Nastran as the solver on record. With Apex 2021.1, we have the ability to do a full pre-post on an MSC Nastran frequency response analysis stack, also referred to as Solution 111. So let's take that Apex model that we had before, let's export an MSC Nastran Sol 111 deck, and then let's run it externally. Here I've cut to the end just so you don't have to wait for it to solve. Now that we've completed our run, I'll import the Nastran results into Apex and then enter it straight into post-processing. And for the last highlight of this video, let's talk about the new Apex Utilities menu over here on the right side of the screen. There's a lot to unpack here, so if you're looking for more technical detail on what each of these utilities do, please contact the Apex support team or your local application engineer, and someone from our team would be happy to walk through it with you. But there's a couple of utilities here in particular that I'd like to point your attention to, and the first one is the ability to import one Apex model into another one without doing any exporting or anything like that. Let's see how it works. Here I'm showing you 3 different Apex models, and let's assume that all 3 of them are created by individual engineers on separate computers. Once they're done with their models, all 3 can be combined into one Apex model, and in order to do that, we now have a utility called Import Apex Models that allows you to browse for each model one at a time and import them all into one. The second utility I want to highlight for you here is the ability to export your Apex model and immediately open it in Mark, which, if you don't know, is our advanced nonlinear solver. We've linked both of these tools together now, and when you're ready to move from Apex over to Mark, all you have to do is define the file path for the DAT file, and it will export the native Mark DAT file. And if I have the checkbox checked for Run Mentat, then it'll automatically open Mentat and import the model that I just exported. Again, I've only scratched the surface here when it comes to the new Apex Utilities menu, so have fun exploring these new, very useful tools. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out any of our other videos, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notified when our newest videos arrive. Thanks, and see you next time.